We're checking out NASCAR 25 gameplay of the Xfinity Series at Daytona. Hello everybody, welcome back to another NASCAR 25 gameplay video, as today we're dropping a bunch of it, and I want to say thank you to the NASCAR 25 team and iRacing, allowing myself and other creators to have a private showcase with the game and watch the gameplay in action. No, we do not have a copy of the game, but we did get to have a live private session with the developers and watch them actually play the game and record footage for us to send later on. And you guys are now seeing Daytona with the Xfinity Series car. And this is going to be an exciting one. I've also got another gameplay video dropping at the same time with two other racetracks of North Wilkesboro and Lime Rock Park with the Cup cars and ARCA cars. That's the link down below in the description if you want to check that one out. But I wanted to do a video for Daytona on its own. I'm going to let you guys listen to the raw gameplay once we take the green flag for the first stage, and then I'll come in with some more commentary after. But beforehand, I think it's important to note they were running 13% length. They were running 4x tire wear and fuel consumption for this race. AI settings, you can really customize the AI in this game as well, and they were running on 100 difficulty, so they were not running on the hardest difficulty. There's a lot of sliders. If you remember NASCAR Heat 5, there's a lot of similar customization to Heat 5's AI, but more of like refining sliders this time around, and instead of like 3 options, you can really fine-tune it. There's also an incident frequency slider you can adjust, so that's really cool. Now, I know they were running on, with the AI, the more, I would say, cautious side of AI in this demo, and you're not going to see, the most aggressive AI in the game, and there's a couple things I'll nitpick here and there that I did see throughout this gameplay video that I wasn't a fan of, but there's a lot of stuff that I am a fan of, and I can't wait to talk about it here as you see the 94 getting on track. This is one of the custom cars that you can make in the paint booth. Now, we have not gotten a look at the paint booth yet. That will be a separate video coming later, but yeah, I'm excited to see what that looks like nonetheless. But qualifying, it's pretty straightforward here in Daytona, of course. And if you guys remember NASCAR Heat games, that was always a big issue where you would qualify to super speedway and you would qualify dead last all the time. Well, at least on 100 difficulty here, this 94 Chevrolet is going to come to the line and actually qualify better than last at, well, P9. And actually, Richard Childress Racing is going to sweep the front row just as you would expect. Jesse Love on pole, Austin Hill P2. Now let's dive into the race as we go through the little pre-ceremonies, see the little transition into the race. But then, we have the little pre-race kind of ceremony thing. And there you see the race at 5 p.m. And let's dive into things. I'm going to shut up and let you guys take in stage 1.
So now, the words you've all been waiting for. Drivers, start your engines!
Time to go. Good luck out there. Be ready now. Green, green. Outside door. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Outside. Stay low. Clear high. Car outside. Two to go this time. Hold your line. One up high. One high. One outside. 3 wide. One inside. Clear high if you want it. white flag, keep it up. One high. Clear outside. Stage points, baby, good job. Pit road is open. You good with this strategy, driver?
And there you have stage 1. We jump into stage 2, and I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below immediately now as we get underway for the second stage. Now, there's some things I really like, there's some things I don't like, and I can tell you right off the bat, a lot of the concerns I had a week ago seeing other creators' gameplay in terms of the AI have been probably 80 to 85% reduced on my end, because we were watching this gameplay on a much newer build compared to the one that those creators had last week posting, and a lot of those AI issues seem to be fixed, and you can really see it in my other gameplay video as well, which is linked in the description below. But there's some things here that I'm going to talk really good about. There's some things I'm going to also nitpick, and I'm going to start with the nitpicks first because they're pretty short and sweet. The first thing is, and this could just be because of the AI settings that they were running, they didn't really clarify, so I can't confirm for sure, but you notice when the player was on the inside of some cars and he would glide up the racetrack, the car on his outside would kind of take evasive action to make sure there was no contact at all. Like, they would jump up, you know, a couple of feet just to make sure you didn't run into them. I didn't really care for seeing that. On top of that as well, and I know this isn't 100% final, so I'll try to reserve some too much criticism, but definitely the restarts and stuff, they seem a little bit too kind of disorganized, as you can kind of see up here. I mean, that doesn't look legitimate, but things then kind of come back together. Now, another one thing I didn't like, and the final thing from this video, you see the day to night transitions? Not a fan, because this is 2025, boys, and we still don't have proper day to night transitions. It's exactly like NASCAR Heat. The time of day changes between stages. We had proper day to night transitions over 20 years ago, and we still don't have it here, as you're gonna see the 94 attempting to right hook the 7. Eventually it happens. The crashing, it looks a little dank, and then the 94 like loses control in the infield. The player does not have control at this point, and that actually ends the second stage. So you as well see the pit options that you have there on the left, and the leaderboard on the right. But I know turning, we were told turning the 7 car, right hooking the 7 car, because we were curious as creators, you know, how easy it is it to right hook somebody? And basically in here it was a bit harder because the AI were on a lot more of a stiff and kind of cautious setting. So it is supposed to be much easier when we go into the game and tune it ourselves. So I'm hopeful that will be in fact the case when we have our hands on the game. One more nitpick is, I said it in the original kind of like trailers, that the night racing just looks kind of weird visually. I don't know, it's like something with the lighting. I don't know, it just looks a little weird to me, at least here in Daytona. But outside of that, I mean, when those are my nitpicks, I feel like we've got ourselves in a pretty good place now as we get back underway. This is the third and final stage now at this point, and you see the 2x2, of course, in front. And overall, the AI, when they get sorted out and settled in, they race like I would hope they would for the most part. I would like to see some more 3x3x3, but they at least race competitively, and this is not even on the hardest difficulty, so that brings a lot of promise. You see they all kind of feed down to the bottom trying to get in line. That's not even out of the ordinary, of course, as well. So of course you expect though to see them kind of do that. They fan out. They kind of look a little NASCAR Heat-esque, or even iRacing AI-esque actually, where they will just kind of jump out of line. But as well, one thing that's really cool is as well, you see a little bit of the damage model being displayed. Look at the rear bumper of the number 7 of Justin Allgaier. The right rear is kind of crinkled in a little bit, so we're finally getting some proper looks at the damage, and I think the damage from what we've seen, which is very little in this video and gameplay demo, it looks solid, but definitely want to see some more like heavy impacts and crashes to really get an idea of how much you can damage the car. Another thing I really like about the super speedway racing is the bump drafting. So when you drive into the back of a car in front of you, you really push them forward. They get a pretty like significant lunge forward, which is great to see, and vice versa. The AI will also give you a big shot to the back bumper and launch you forward. So momentum is something that's going to be really real. And imagine in multiplayer, that's going to be huge, is the momentum that you might gain with the bump drafts at these super speedways. It almost looks like Gen 6-esque era bump drafting, where you would get like these huge shifts of momentum, and I think it's really cool. I'm not sure, is that fully realistic? I really don't know, but what I am noticing here as they go down this back straightaway, you still see the cars behind. They are struggling to kind of catch up. So super speedway racing appears to be not perfect, but it's not horrible, you know. It's like a neutral. It's like there's obviously, in my opinion, some work to be done. Now as you look at the 94 give a shot to the back of the car in front, that's great to see that it pushed the car forward, because this is a gripe I've had with NASCAR games for quite a while now, over the last I don't know how many years, is when I am trying to bump draft an AI, we can't, because we would go up and hit them and they would just stay planted where they are. They don't even get an ounce of momentum gain, and it always really annoyed me. It seems like now that's finally changing, finally, all these years later. On the left side as well, with the car status, you see the aero, the engine, the oil temp, the radiator condition, tire wear, as actually this 94 follows right through the middle to gain some track position. But you see a request pit stop option as well, so you can request a pit stop. Now, we weren't told exactly what would happen if we try to pit without requesting a pit stop. We did not get to see a green flag pit stop in this demo, but we were told that the pit stops in this game will look exactly like the pit stops that are used in iRacing. So imagine the animation you see of the pit crew in iRacing. That's what you're going to be getting here. Is look at that. The 7 of Allgaier actually pushes the 94 out to the lead of this outside lane. You see in the mirror Connor Zilish and Allgaier, Nick Sanchez as well. As now you try to sign draft. Now sign drafting, they said, was pretty difficult to do, but it is something that you can do. So sign drafting is an option, as here comes Nick Sanchez jumping up to the second lane behind this 94, and then we'll jump back down inside here as Jesse Love's all in the background there. And actually looking in the mirror, things are starting to get more organized. So things are starting to kind of look a little more super speedway-esque as we come up towards the end of this race, but there's still some kind of, I don't know if it's maybe to do with the draft and the strength of draft or whatever it might be, but there's certainly some kind of weird spread out moments here, and then they kind of seem to come back together. I'm not sure if that's something they're going to continue to work on before launch, or maybe a post-launch update. We didn't really get any info on that, but it's certainly a step up, because when we saw the trailer, the super speedways look pretty bad. Look at that hit from the 54 of Taylor Gray, and you see the rear end crumple in. So that looks pretty good. Actually, I'm okay with that personally. It kind of reminds me of the iRacing damage model, not the new and current one, but the one before the current damage model. You see, looking around there as well, you see Connor Zilish has the exact same crumpled damage, of course, and there is different amounts of damage, of course, that you can select in the game, from just no damage, visual damage, and then of course like full damage, as well as an option here as they continue to fight side by side for the lead of this race. I talk about some more stuff, of course, in my overall gameplay video with Wilkesboro and, of course, Lime Rock Park, more about some PC stuff and why that's delayed and stuff like that. So if you want to hear about that, you can go check out my other video, as now the 94 jumps up top, and you can see now he's got to cover up both lanes, coming to a few laps to go. Here comes the guy that's winning everything, Connor Zilish. Now I'm just glad everyone's starting to understand how good Connor Zilish is, because I've seen it coming for quite a while, as he jumps down to the inside here in this 94 through the tri-oval, and now he's got to cover off both lanes. Now, it looks a lot easier in this game compared to like a Heat game because of the fact that we're not seeing a lot of 3x3. We're just mainly seeing 2x2x2 for the most part, and then there's a little bit of 3 wide a little bit further back. So definitely as a player you would think it's going to be a little bit easier to try and cover the lanes, but hopefully my hope is when we get this game in our hands and we're playing on the hardest difficulty, you know, yeah, we can control the lanes when we get to the front, but I'm hoping that getting to the front is going to be truly challenging. And in my other gameplay video, you're going to see that running on just 100 AI is very challenging. So that gives me some hope for a lot of these racetracks now in the AI difficulty, because my fear is, and it's always a trend that we see, is the first game that comes out for NASCAR from a new company that's making the game, they always get the AI difficulty really, really wrong, and they're either too hard at some tracks or they're way too easy at some tracks, and they can never get a proper balance, where the same happened in the NASCAR Heat series. It took, I think, 3-4 games to finally get the AI, you know, properly difficult everywhere. So that was something I was kind of trying to pay attention to here, and everywhere I've seen, it looks pretty difficult to be beating the AI now, as we're coming to the final lap of racing here in this Daytona gameplay. And overall, it looks really slick. I still think the night racing looks weird. I've stuck by that the entire time. I still think it does. I don't know. It's just something with the shading or lighting. It's just a little weird to me. But I mean, that doesn't mean it looks bad by any means, because I think we've got a beautiful game on our hands. It's playing well. We start the final lap, and as well, just a huge shout out to iRacing for showing us raw gameplay and not sending us something that was pre-recorded. No, they played it directly in front of us, and if there was any flaws in the game, anything went wrong, we were going to be there to see it. Here comes Sanchez to the back bumper. You notice he's not pushing on this final lap now, and actually they're going to go 3 wide to the outside, so the intensity really picks up right here at the end. Here comes Quample on the inside, Austin Hill, the plate merchant, in the middle. Or maybe, I don't think that's Austin Hill actually. No, that's not the 21. He's not there. As we head down the front straightaway though, the 94, covering 3 lanes to the line, hangs on to win the race. It's actually the 9 car. That's Ross Chastain that ends up finishing just behind. And then to end the gameplay video, you do see, unfortunately, no burnouts. That sucks. It is what it is. But yeah, we don't get burnouts, and it's a very short kind of animation for the race win. And then, of course, you see the finishing results on your screen. There is also replay mode that is shown in my other gameplay video as well, that you can check out below, like I said, in the description. And then you leave the weekend. It's done. It's over. So, final thoughts, you know, super speedway racing, not perfect. Not perfect by any means, but it's in a solid state in my opinion. I think there's still quite a bit of work to be done. It lacks the kind of super speedway intensity that you would expect in real life, of course, and as well the AI kind of react a little strangely to the movements that you make, but that, like I said, of course, I know that comes down to some AI settings and whatnot, and we can fine-tune that, but still, that's something I observed. Things that I liked, of course, was, of course, the bump drafting and kind of that intensity right at the end of that race. That was really cool to see. But overall, yeah, it was solid. It was not bad by any means. I'm not going to come out of that playing and being like, dang, that sucked. But I'm also not going to come out of that being like, that was the greatest thing ever. It was just like, it was solid. So I'm excited to get my hands on it and try out for myself. I can't wait to do like a 100% Daytona 500 because it does seem like there's quite a bit of fun to be had. I would love to see if the AI can maybe like cause a big one or something, because I know we do have that incident like frequency slider, so I'm hopeful that, you know, that could be something we can actually adjust to kind of cause some big crashes without having to do it our own. Of course, I did not also like, of course, how hard it was to right rear the 7 car, but like I said, as we were told, that comes down to some AI settings as well. So until I have my hands on the game and I can test it out myself, I will reserve full judgment, because I'll be going as aggressive as I can on the AI settings, and if I can't easily right hook somebody, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I mean, I think we're in a pretty solid spot to kick off this new era of NASCAR gaming. And like I said, one final time, check out my other gameplay video where we check out North Wilkesboro as well as Lime Rock Park, and that's an exciting one. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great day.